back to Bissell Maple Farm's YouTube channel. I am Nate. You're in my truck, and I'm about to edit this video you're going to watch, and this is about the Maine Maple Producers Association putting on the meeting, the international meeting, which I've been to a few in my day, and this is the most fun meeting I've been to. I mean, I got to meet all sorts of cool people, and for those of you who watch the channel, came up to talk to me, thank you. It makes it less weird talking to a camera because I know I'm talking to you, really. So for those of you who got to attend the meeting, this is really for you. For those of you who are thinking about attending meetings in the future, I hope you see kind of the there's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of discussion, a lot of exchanging of ideas. But I gotta say, this is probably the best one I've been to. Some of my favorite things were meeting producers from the Pacific Northwest. I got to hang out with Daniel Caldwell from Oregon, his son-in-law Elliot, and then I was able to meet Daryl, and she's a producer in Washington. And I gotta tell you, I was a skeptic. I really was. I was a skeptic for the production of maple syrup in the Pacific Northwest. I still am a little bit from a volume standpoint, but when I tasted Daniel, no offense, the sample you brought reminded me of a lot of mistakes I made when I was an early producer, which Daniel and his family are. When I tasted Daryl's maple syrup, her maple syrup tasted very much like what my dad and I made early on. And I have hope for you guys. Like, I have hope for the big leaf maple. Hold on one sec. I absolutely love the fall, but I have allergies. Like, I haven't taken any Zyrtec, and my eyes are going to water, and I may have to pause often to sneeze. Hold on. So I apologize a little bit about the sneezing. Something unique about this association meeting was watching the Merrifield family and Joanne, Lexi, and Molly. You guys did great. Lyle would be proud of you. I was proud of you. First time meeting you, and you guys did a great job. And for those of you who stepped up at the Maine Maple Association, you guys did a great job. I mean, it was just a special event, and I'm glad I got to participate and enjoy it. I ended up staying an extra day because when I heard something about a lobster dinner, I'm like, I'm staying. And changing flights and getting an extra room, it was not an inexpensive thing, but totally worth it to hang out with you guys, to visit, to share ideas. We also get to tour the Merrifield Maple Farm and Scott Dunn's place, which those are two very cool operations. I'm glad I got to do it, and you'll be able to take the tour with me, with us, and I hope you enjoy it. I didn't really get a big intro at the beginning. We're just going to go right into it and look at a lot of different things, talk to a lot of different people, and I hope you enjoy it. So thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you at the end. First time having bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. Maple producer from Oregon.
That is really good.
You've never had anything like it, right?
Nothing like it.
This is my first time trying maple syrup made in the Pacific Northwest. My new friend Daniel, he brought me a little bit of bottle. Can you open that for me?
You bet.
In fact, if you pour a little bit in that cap, I'll just sip in it. That's perfect. It's even okay at your thumb touch. I have never had, it's called big leaf maple, right?
Yep.
I have never had big leaf maple. It's definitely earthier. That's a stronger maple flavor than I expected. This would be ideal for cooking.
Definitely.
And you said, Daniel, what do you get for a gallon of this?
We're at $500 a gallon.
Yeah, $500. Made from, what is your average sugar content?
1%.
And you are a dealer
I'm a dealer.
for
Dominion and Grimm.
Dominion, so you know the Manahans, you know Sean. And Sean, I want to go out there. I want to visit his sugar house. But D&G's got to help me with some of the travel expense. That's fair. That's a good deal. I'll work with them. We'll work on the filter press together. I'll help him with some repairs. I want to go to Oregon to make syrup with this guy. So remember that. D&G, you should do this. You should. All right. Well, Daniel and I are off the beaten path a little bit. We're in Gorham, Maine. And one of earliest memories I have is my parents always had a wood burning stove. And we've always burned with yodels. And they're a really good cast iron stove, I believe from Norway. And the rest of the bus is over touring a brewery, and an 8 a.m. brewery tour just didn't. I'm this close to Yodel, I gotta go in. So, yeah. So Daniel said, let's go for a walk. I'm like, cool, let's do that. It's a nice looking stove. They're heavy, buddy.
Oh, they should be. They're cast iron.
Yeah. It takes a couple grown men to move these things around. So we weren't able to get a tour. No one was available. We did spur of the moment came out, but they did give us a couple hats, couple they're like beer glasses. Yep. So I appreciate that.
500 licensed producers. 240 of them are members at MMPA, Maine Maple. Obviously, we've got some work to do on membership. We are the third largest producing maple syrup in the country, behind Vermont and New York. And most of our syrup is produced in northern Maine, in the Jackman area, up near the Canadian border, on the Golden Road, as they call it.
I was very nervous today, just want you all to know. Welcome, this is Merrifield Farm. Of course, most of you know all of us. This is my daughter Lexi, this is her boyfriend Robert, that's my daughter Molly and her husband Zach. This is my son, not true, Levi, but he is like my son. And that's Katie, she helps us, and Levi. We started here on Maple Sunday in 2000. A lot of people complimented the first one. The play area, Lyle was a builder, just so everybody knows. So a lot of this stuff was for the kids, so this keeps them entertained. Behind you on that porch actually turns into my kitchen. That's where we serve roughly 7,000 people that come through here on the 2 days. We do a breakfast line there. It goes down our driveway, down the road. Picnic tables out here. Outside is where they eat. We have a little informational booth we put up here so if people, but like I was saying in the meeting, we have a lot of buildings, portable buildings that we bring up here too, and we have a full line of product so people don't have to wait in the sugar house. And then we have another building we bring up, which is a coffee shack, does hot coffee, iced coffees, and pastries. So we have a lot of portable buildings we bring up for that weekend and then we move them back. What we're gonna do here, roughly 900 taps is all we're down to now, roughly 900 taps. I don't know if Deb pointed out or tried to, down in White Rock there's our main sugar bush, and there's 2 pump houses down there, and we collect it in the back of a pickup truck. We go and pump everything on, bring it back here, pump it in. Everything else that we tap, we put up and put down. Every year it's at a neighbor's house, friends' houses. But we're gonna divide this group up into 2. Half's gonna go in the museum, the other half's gonna go through the sugar house, see the evaporator, and they'll answer any questions you may have as far as the flow for Maple Sunday. Anything you have questions, ask Levi or Zach on the boiling process or the RO areas. And there's snacks in the sugar house. So you guys have an hour, so we'll switch and have some fun.
All right, so you guys can kind of just go about and we'll have someone in each room who can answer your questions instead of just taking everyone through at once because it's not very big. So we have our tank room with our second RO. Levi will be here to answer some questions. We have a small RO room where our first RO is. Katie's in the kitchen serving snacks, but that's where we do all our bottling. Our evaporator is in here, head tanks. up above, and then our store is in the back. This outbuilding is where we produce our cotton candy and our soft serve ice cream on Maple Sunday weekend. Out back, there's a small building filled with sap tanks right now, but that was my dad's first original sugar house. It's very small, but now our blacksmith on Maple Sunday works in that. There is an ice house out back. It is currently empty right now, but you can look at that. So just feel free to poke around and ask questions and switch back and forth. Yep. So
You guys started in the year 2000?
That was his first Maple Sunday,
Yeah.
but he
They
started.
used to make it before that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
He's
that's
been tapping trees. He tapped his first tree in the 3rd grade down at the primary school down here, and he's been tapping ever since. So our first Maple Sunday was 2000.
How do you handle 7,000 people?
It's organized chaos.
that's it. So like, we'll have the breakfast line that my mom said it usually goes down the driveway and then down the road. We have 2 buildings, probably twice as big as that small one there, that we drag up in the driveway, so that if people want to buy product without going through the sugar house, because that gets pretty crowded, we'll have 4 lines for people to go through up in the driveway, and then this one here. My sister runs, we have a coffee and pastry shed. Looks just like that building. They sell hot coffee, iced coffee, hot chocolate, pastries, cookies, donuts,
All
loafy
Maple,
pies.
no regular.
Yeah.
So people are just waiting in line.
Yep, a lot of waiting. We are open every weekend through the month, just for product sales. So I would say 80% of the people that come that month, oh, we'll see you Maple Sunday. We just don't want to wait in line. So they just want to come. We have the local 4-H kids that come and do ox cart rides in the field. We have a blacksmith, music, museum. The barn's usually full with animals that weekend. We bring down our animals and fill the barn. And
Antique kettles of how it used to be made. And
yep, the playground, my dad built that for Molly and I when we were little. So it's still, that's a hit for the kids. That place is mobbed on Maple Sunday weekend. So our town used to do these North Gorham days, and we would make a float every year, like my sister and I, and he built a building every year for that float, and then once that float was done, he put the building up there for us to use to play in, so. Yeah, so mosey on around and we can answer any questions.
Why not go in, right? It's cool. It smells amazing. It's like a combination between milled pine and sweet maple sugar. This is awesome. Thank you. The lights behind this is genius.
Lexi, I'm gonna buy a tote, so I just take it off the wall. Yeah. I'll take the one.
There we go. There's some barrel-aged syrup. Peter crossing streams here. We're crossing the streams.
There's something very important I forgot to tell you.
What?
Don't cross the streams.
This is amazing. I didn't expect this. Yeah.
Way too going antique out of it.
It's cool.
It's unbelievable.
Slip right by you here.
Yep, go for it. Yes, anything to do with it.
Pinelands, and he built the fair, and then he built most of the buildings that are in where the fair tour is going to be. He built all those. Yeah, he-
So that's the original Tesla car. That was made in southern Vermont. Lincolnville, and up Chuck, I think, and then it comes last name. He built it in a shed, and then we went down and looked at it. Back then, really small up here, brought it in.
Do you have any log cabin? Little Aunt Jemimas?
Sorry, containers. She doesn't.
No, I mean for my coffee. I'm kidding.
I already had one for breakfast.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Little coffee.
That was my breakfast choice.
Video, by the way.
What are you making it for? Just yourself?
No, for everyone.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good.
Oh, that's
Wait, you know what works really well?
Zoom right in.
No. Listen, you know what works really well is that laugh and smile in slow motion.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, I'll put it in slow motion, and I'll make it look like you're working with editing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
You're
love
welcome.
that.
No, you're in. You're in. I'll make sure I put that in. Listen, a little beauty helps the video.
Aw. You're just the sweetest.
Is this the area you took care of? This is your domain on here?
Yeah, sometimes.
This is awesome. I love that light. Very cool. Another RO. We got to get Dan in here. We already got Kathy.
What do you know?
A little smile never hurts, Dan.
I'll put that right in front of you.
A smile in slow motion always wins.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, this is great. I love this sugar house. Reminds me of mine. I had 6 editions on mine. It's amazing.
So any signage here, I'll buy one of his best friends. We'll call him the day before.
Here with David. David, where's your operation?
Near Moncton, New Brunswick. People often hear Moncton, but Hillsborough, about 20 minutes south of Moncton.
And David here bought a couple of my dad's cutting boards.
Yeah.
And put one in the auction.
Very impressed. I hope people bid it up real high at the auction, get some money.
There you go, Dad. Good job.
Right on.
Guys from Canada are buying Ohio cutting boards.
Right on. Got to support the locals.
Yep. So do you work with the Maine Association down here?
No.
Okay.
We're neighbors, but
Because you seem like you're a part of the event.
yeah,
Or
well, I
you know
represent
everybody?
New Brunswick at
Okay.
this, so I've been coming to this
Okay.
for 22 years.
Well, I appreciate you watching the channel, man.
No,
I do.
It's awesome. I
Thank
hope to
you.
have a good video following someday myself.
You know the key? What's the key? What's the key to a Facebook channel? Well, nope. The
No.
key to a Facebook channel, or I'm sorry, the key to a YouTube channel is to.
I couldn't tell you.
It's to start.
Yeah, well,
That's the hardest
let's,
part, man.
Let's just put it this way: I have started, but I have to keep going. That's
Brave men fall with the battle cry. Tears fill the eyes of their loved ones and their brothers in arms. So it went for Joseph Warren. It should have been different. It could have been easy. His rank could have saved him. But a country unborn is bravery, and it spread like wildfire. Fire. From the ashes grew sweet liberty, like the seeds of the pines when the forest burns. They open up to grow and burn again. It should have been different. It could have been easy, but too much money rolled in to ever end slavery. The cry for war spread like wildfire. Wildfire. Civil War came, Civil War went. Brother fought brother, the South was spent, but it's true to my hatred passed down through the years. It should have been different, it could have been easy, but pride has a way of holding too firm to history, and it burns like wildfire. I was born a southern son in a small southern town where the rebels run wild. They beat their chest and they swear we're gonna rise again. It should have been different, it could have been easy the day that old Horn died. Hate should have gone with it, but here we are, caught in the wild.
Lake in Maine. It is 45 square miles. It is 316 feet at its deepest point. It has 105 miles of shoreline. I think that's more than Rhode Island has, period, isn't it? It sits at 270 feet above sea level, and 20% of Maine's population gets their water from Sebago Lake, and it requires minimal treatment as it is so clean. It holds about 995 billion gallons of water. So we should go by the tip of that on our way to Scott's. Also, a little bit of information. Lobster, last year's catch was worth $533 million. Left and right-handed, the larger claw deters whether they're right or left-handed. So whichever one is larger, which is sort of interesting, I thought. Guess you can check out your lobster tonight. They regenerate their limbs. They live to be over 100 years old if we don't catch them. And once they're thought to be a poor man's food, and they were used as fertilizer. And one other fact about Maine is we have paper mills. We have 11 mills operating at our highest point. We only have 6 now. And people used to say, as I'm a native Vermonter and came to Maine to go to college, when you went through Rumford, it was the smell of money. Paper mills aren't sweet, that's for sure. And they always said, don't buy a used car from a paper mill town. But anyway.
Saddled up, snow jet, trail blazing, sled neck, moon riding town to town. Bust a knuckle rough neck to the bone, blood, sweat, work until the shift runs out. Land of the free, the home of the brave, we ain't afraid to stand our ground. Loud and proud with the red, white, and blue, greatest nation around. Tear it up, back for it, going book wild. Warm it up, sitting something by the bonfire. Round here, we do it in the snow. Pile it 10 feet high and under 10 below. The frostbite will cut you like a barbed wire. Lock it down in four-wheel drive, that's how we roll. Work hard, play hard, bet your ass we can fix it. This is how we like to get down in a northern town.
There's Scott's office right there.
Okay, talk to you. Bye-bye.
Look at this guy. Just like on TV.
Yeah.
It's a cool little sugar house he's got. URO. Come here, pup. Come here, pup. Come here. I want to see you. Yeah. You're the four-legged boss.
Welcome. My name's Scott. My wife Erin over there. Our sugaring story starts in Vermont with my great-grandfather. He passed it down to my grandmother, my mom, and then I made syrup with my mom and dad over an open fire with my great-grandfather's buckets as a kid. Then when I was in high school, there was a neighbor behind my dad's house that made syrup, so I would go up after school and help him gather sap, get the evaporator going, and then it was generally time to go home for dinner. We came up here for college and then decided to stay. And then one day we're my buddies, college friends, and we're ice fishing, which is the dumbest thing on earth because you throw a line in the hole and then you get drunk. So and one of them's talking and he's like, I'm making maple syrup, it's delicious. And I'm like, shit, I can do that. So I came home, didn't tell her what I was doing, and I looked around and found that we had some trees. And then I looked around the neighborhood and found that we had some more. So I went to her, and everyone knows that if you're a guy, that you can't go to your wife and sell something if it's only got one benefit. It needs at least two. So I went in and I'm like, hey, we got a bunch of maple trees. I could build a sugar house and we could make some syrup. And then the four-wheeler that I'm grooming snowmobile trails with that sits outside would fit right in there, so it would have a place to go. And she's like, all right, smart guy, you think you can do this? Go ahead. So in 2013, we built the initial sugar house, which is where the evaporator is. I went down to Bascom's and I bought a used 2x4 liter evaporator, basically a Patriot set, but a 2x4. Brought that in and we started making syrup in 2014. We just basically had this piece here on buckets that were my great-grandfather's and some others I had picked up and short runs of tubing. The second year, I put a vacuum system in on this piece and quickly realized that I needed a bigger evaporator. So what I did is I bought the liter max thru pans, and then no one made a 2x6 gasifier, and I wanted that. So I went around, took pictures on some of the tours, and I went down to my buddy's fab shop in Gorham, and we custom built my arch. So we've got air over fire, air under fire, and air through the door. And I've got a dust collector blower on it, and I control the air with 3 valves that are on the back wall. I can make the thing jump up and down, and we're pushing well more than it says it's rated for. In 2016, I was like, I'm sorry, back up. We put the woodshed on the second year. Then in 2016, we decided to have another kid. And then I had found a piece of woods that had been tapped, but it wasn't anymore. So I made a deal with the landowner, and we took that on, so we had to add on. So we had room for the RO and tanks and everything else. But then at that point, I'm like, man, we got a four-wheeler in where we're making food and we're making a bunch of it. Having gas and oil in there probably isn't such a great idea. So we had to add on that side to put the four-wheeler in because that wasn't going back outside. So the vacuum pump for this 170 taps is in the four-wheeler shed. We just transfer the vacuum down to the tank. These taps start on the other side of the road. We're picking it up over the driveway as well as up over the road, and it all goes down there. We have 1,200 taps 3 miles away. That's on a 3-phase pump, and that's all monitored with SAP SPY monitoring. That tank, as well as I have 2 woods, 120 in Standish and 100 in Gorham, that are on SureFlow pumps with solar panels and batteries. those 3 spots get hauled back, and I set a pipe that goes from the sugar house up to the driveway, and I back in with the trailer hook on, and that gravity's into the sugar house. We don't necessarily have a target bricks that we boil at. I boil at 8% to, I don't read it on the hydrometer. And it's more so based on how long I want to boil for the amount of sap we have. I don't want to boil more than 4 to 6 hours. So I'm not going to say I boil 8% and boil for 12 hours. I'll just keep running the RO and stepping on it until we get to a point where we can go to bed by 10. We retail the majority of our syrup, and we have to buy syrup in because we can retail that much. Maple Sunday weekend here, probably 3,000 plus people a day. We have a blueberry pancake breakfast in the driveway. The mini donut machine is in the driveway. And then down here we set sales up in the barn, and we have checkout in the 4-wheeler shed. We used to have a tent city down here with easy ups, and you can see stars through all of them because of the sparks coming out of the evaporator. So after this year, with the snowstorm coming in, we had to get creative, so we moved sales into the barn. And then I cut the hole in the shed so that now sales doesn't, so I've eliminated multiple tents already, and we're working on a way to get the mini donuts and the pancake breakfast inside too, because I'm done with tents, because March weather you can't predict. I think that's it.
How do you do your marketing, Scott?
So online presence on a website, social media, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Do you do any equipment stuff?
Yeah, we're dealers for Becker, Leader H2O, and SapSpy. Around here, it's a lot of smaller size producers, 1,000 taps or less is what's in this area predominantly.
Well, you know a lot of producers.
I know a few people.
You do.
On the evaporator, 2 years ago, we added the preheater in the hoods, and then last season we added the bubbler. We've got a Equinox 1200 that I added last year, and I'm trying to think what else. I think that's it. The Becker pump that's running at the show, that pump's coming here and going inside because I've got a gassed dry vein pump in there right now, and the girls will not appreciate me if I run that the entire time. They've got to be in there checking people out. And I'm running vacuum the whole time if we can make certain. So we're changing that pump out.
Use any monitoring?
SapSpy. Yeah. So here in the 2 small woods, I just have tank sensors and a single vacuum on it. Our big woods has multiple sensors up through the woods.
Gotcha. Now Scott has a great YouTube channel if you've never watched it. I didn't know he could climb trees until I watched him climb one of these trees with what are those things you put on your feet?
Spurs.
Spurs.
So the reason for the winch down there for the tractor is I have a bunch of trees that were leaning out over main lines. And I wanted to get rid of them, but I didn't want to have to take the main lines down to deal with it. So what I do is I climb up the tree, I wrap the chain around it, and then I pull the cable up, hook onto it, I cut the notch, pull on it with the winch, I go over, cut my back cut, and then I go over to the winch and I just yard it and I can pull it right over and put it where I want it. So I'm able to do my thinning now when I want, where I want, rather than being a slave to taking lines down, or when you go in and thin a woods, I can pretty well get whatever I want when I want.
You hear that, Elliot? You hear that? There's a tree guy there. Arborist.
I'm not an arborist.
Yeah, right. You look like one.
I'm not. I make syrup and I do it how I need to.
Yeah.
But feel free to go inside. If you want to look inside the arch, we just need to shut the blower down because that thing will throw fire out if we don't. And we'll keep that thing running so everyone can look at it. We can open up the hood so people can see. You can't really see the bubbler, but you can see the preheater and everything. Questions, whatever. Joe is cooking lunch. It's not quite ready yet. There's drinks down there. But once food's ready, people can start filtering through.
Did you tell everybody what your sugar content's running right now?
Right now, 13. We can get some sweet trees around here. One thing on our trees, we're primarily red maples here. My sugar content runs low, but it's because proximity to the close, and we tap a lot of wet areas. I mean, swamp maples for a reason. And it's just kind of is what it is as far as everyone knows, it makes syrup. It is, you tap every maple tree you can find.
What's your typical sugar content?
This year we were at 1.2 as a high. The year before we were at 1.7 for a high. We made 100 gallons less with almost the same amount of syrup, sap.
Yeah. So what do you run your concentrate to?
8 to the hydrometer doesn't read it anymore.
Right.
No, because the bubble's coming up out too.
What do your neighbors think of 3,000 people on the street? You know, do you?
All but one of them are very good.
Okay. Do you pay them off, or what? You know, do you invite them over?
No, I mean, no. They understand because it's one day. A lot of them come down here. They enjoy the breakfast. The traffic, it is a lot, and I understand that. We work with the town, so we block the road with fire police up the street, so it's one way coming in. The sharp corner that you guys came around, we put no parking signs on that. We block off private ways, and I'll cone off driveways if I need to, because I do understand that it does affect them. But for other than one neighbor,
Give them all a free bottle of syrup, right?
that's what it takes. No, I do understand because it is very busy here on Maple Weekend, and I try to be respectful of them. But like I tell them, I send them a letter every year, the ones that are affected. I can only fix things that I know about. So if I know about it, I'll fix it. But I can't fix it that weekend, because how do you fix something in the middle of Maple Weekend? It's just not a thing. But I can fix it for the next year.
So if you haven't yet, check out Scott's YouTube channel. So it's Dunn Family Farm, and I'm really grateful for Scott. When I first got into YouTube, I got in it for the wrong reasons. I wanted free stuff. I saw a lot of people getting free stuff during COVID, and I thought, well, if this guy can do it, I can do it. And it's the wrong reason, and you know, I've completely switched to providing value to you, and the true value is I get to meet people like Scott, who introduced me to Sean Dunning, who introduced me to Clayton Christie, who introduced me to Jeff and Gary Corey and J.R. Sloan, and that's the value, is in the people I've been able to meet. And that is what I tell people. They're like, is it worth doing YouTube? I'm like, absolutely. They're like, how much money you make? That means nothing. It really doesn't. It is, I've been able to travel and meet people I never would have met. I'm going to, at some point, head to Alaska to meet the only maple syrup packaging company in Alaska. That's awesome. Flying to Anchorage, and then there's two choices. He's going to pick me up when we do a 150-mile drive, or take an 18-minute flight in a bush plane. I'm doing that. Plus, in his backyard, salmon. Right there. Right in his backyard, you can catch salmon. That's amazing. Like, I'm doing that. If it wasn't for YouTube, never would have had that opportunity, because, you know, he watches the channel, and he's been watching it for 7-8 months, and finally made it to Jefferson, Ohio to say hello, and we had a great conversation. I'm looking forward to working with him and helping him build his business, because you know, they've got an awesome thing going on. Who doesn't want to go to Alaska, right? But we're here in Maine at Scott's place, and it's in real life better than on his YouTube channel. So it's kind of cool. I'm here with a star, and we are on set at Dunn Family Farm. Bricks, come here. Attaboy. Come here, Bricks. Good boy. Good boy, Bricks. It's got the bourbon barrel. I got to see it. Looks cool. This place is immaculate. There's nothing out of order. It's so organized. It's unbelievable. I definitely would. You guys and your red hot dogs, what are they called? That's called a snap dog.
Have you ever had one?
No.
Would you like one?
Yeah. Yeah, just so I can say I had one. Alright, you call them snap dogs. Like, was that short for like red snapper? Is that what this is? Or why do you guys call them snappers?
Because they snap when you eat them.
Do they really? That's why.
So what I do, because I'm a Maine person.
Okay. Well, I gotta see this. What is this? Alright.
Celery salt.
Doing it up. Celery salt. That's it? Yeah. Good man. I thought you were gonna reach for the ketchup, and we wouldn't be able to talk anymore.
There you go.
This is called
And a little onion.
a snapper. For the sake of my partner riding next to me and the.
Okay.
Thank you, though. All right, we're gonna try this red snapper right here. Oh, it does snap. Yeah. How about that?
starting from scratch with somebody. So a lot of our new guys don't know nothing about Merrifield, even, you know, slowly teach them what to do, but
this is where the work is done. Key right here. Drawn butter. This isn't weird at all. All right, Kathy.
Hi.
This is your business.
This is my business, Kathy's Lobster Bake, and we're from Maine, and we fish out of Freeport, and we have a great time doing it. My husband's a lobsterman. My best friend digs our clams. So this is the freshest stuff that you're going to get ever.
It's amazing.
It is, and we're set up right now, and we're going to feed 130 people, and we're going to have fun doing it.
When did you catch these lobsters?
We caught them just this past 4 days.
Oh, okay, so you had to go out a few times to get them.
Yeah, and we have a float.
This is a pretty good sized group.
Well, we have a float that we float our lobsters in, and our clams get floated too. So we have the cleanest clams going because they float and all the sand gets out of them. So they're sweet and they're clean.
So Kathy, if they wanted to find your business, how would they do that?
They would look up kathyslobsterbake.com, and that's with a C. And
this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'll actually put a link down below.
Kathy's Lobster Bake, yes.
So if you're in Maine and you want to have a lobster bake, you got to see Kathy.
Us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was awesome. What's your name?
My name is Justin Roy.
It's Justin?
Justin, yeah.
Justin? Justin Roy, like as in the goalie. Is it Waugh? Patrick Waugh?
Yeah, exactly.
But you pronounce it.
Waugh.
Here, you pronounce it Roy. At home, do you pronounce it Waugh?
Yeah,
okay.
just like Waugh. Yeah.
So tell me about what you're doing here.
So like...
the sensors. You're putting sensors on each spout.
Yeah,
basically.
Each lateral line.
Okay, each lateral line.
Like
okay. So here's a lateral line?
For the last like 10 years, and I've worked on it for the last 8 years.
So you can see right where your leaks are.
This is my sugar bush, right like that, like seeing all the sensor. It's a bit hard to look.
That's
like,
a lot of sensors, buddy.
But like all these are my main line, and all these are my lateral line.
I got you.
You can click on each one of these. No, this is the 26.
Well, Justin, good luck to you, man. Thank you. I got to hitch a ride to the airport. Yeah. So we'll catch you.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things about these producers in the Pacific Northwest is they're not ruined yet. They don't have all of these ideas of what should. Well, you guys got a little bit, but you're not ruined yet. You were able to meet some of the best maple producers in the country. And when you meet maple producers that make 7, 8, 9 pounds a tap, you should listen to what they have to say. And I know what you'll hear other maple producers say, well, my trees aren't as sweet and this and that and this and that. And the truth is you could take these men and move them to anybody's woods and they will outproduce you because they're the best in the world. And I hate the excuses of, well, this, well, that, well, they, well, this. No. They're just there's always somebody better than you. They're the best of the best. Just take it. Just take it and learn and get better. These people, this is what they do for a living. This is their livelihood. Maple season ends, they're already starting on next season. And a lot of people, well, maple's not their primary livelihood, so you're just not going to pay as much attention to the details because you only have so much capacity. So all I can tell you is the people that are the best of the best of the best, the Dan Crockers, the Sean Dunnings, Scott Wheelers, like, listen to them. I'll be honest, I'm not even going to make maple syrup anymore. After meeting those guys, I'm like, yeah, I quit. I'm going to make syrup just to keep my family tradition alive. It's not going to be at the scale that I have been doing in the past, and I'm going to have fun doing it. I love doing it. I'll probably start off with some buckets this year and just basically go back in time to where we were, and we're going to make some syrup, and we're going to make some content for the younger producers or the producers that haven't gotten into maple yet, or the smaller producers. We're going to start over, and we're going to do it with you. You know, it's going to be a little bit more, how do you say it, relatable. It's going to be relatable. This is for those of you who, you know, you're thinking about going from your flat pan to your 2x6, you know, get an RO for the first time. Like, we're going to make content for you. But yeah, back to the, I guess back to the story of what we're here for. So thanks for stopping by, checking out the video. This video was made for the Merrifield family. It was a very special thing. And it's okay if this video isn't for everybody, but I didn't make it for you. I made it for the Merrifield. So thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you in the next episode.